Hi, YouTube. I hope you're doing well. I'll tell you what's been on my mind in a minute. I'm going to read you a video I'm going to share with you. Um, it's called Collective Unconscious Gaza, Jews, Zigzag, Lacan, and Peterson. Um, uh, let's see, it's on Professor Sam Vaknin's channel. And I'm going to share it in this video. The last 5 minutes, I mean, it's pretty deep on a lot of levels, but the last 5 minutes, if you go to the like 143 point even, and it's 148 long. He's majored in physics and had written a paper in 1983, and that was revived recently. People were talking about it. And I mean, you can look into what he said about like the collective, and then I'll tell you what my topic is today after I tell you my take on what basically science has found, that if you take a particle and try and make it um, macro, it lost its integrity. In other words, they couldn't do it. It was like they killed it basically. Or he went on to describe, like, if you have your collective or your particles in a glass, you wouldn't use the glass to describe what the particles are. And that's basically what I've been thinking on a large scale, is how um, and I will say mankind, because it is the men that were um, rewriting history and eliminating the motherness out of things, or combining her with the male, like making a Venus statue with male genitalia. What uh, perverse person. What these things from antiquity that people look onto now as some type of reality, because who was promoting their agenda for what they would like to see within a world. That doesn't make it so. Like I said, you can't describe the collective, us, as the container. You know, we're not the whole container that has the collective in it. You cannot describe that container by what we are. And that goes back to the whole. They say the whole is the sum of its parts, mathematically, but not physically. That's proven by physics. If the whole was the sum of its parts, putting those particles together in a larger manner would make the whole, and they cannot do that. That's what I'm describing to you, how the depiction of God being a hermaphrodite, or both genders, how they got that wrong. You know, if you view like the arc between a man and a woman, um, them each envisioning the other, um, it doesn't make the man or the woman both or the other. It's that interchange. Now, if God takes and makes that woman over there, he's still over here, and that woman's over there. It doesn't make him the same thing. It's like that baker I described that made that loaf of bread. He is not that loaf of bread. That loaf of bread is not the sum of the whole, the sum of its parts. You know, it's an entirely different thing. But if you're into physics at all, if that made any kind of sense, and biological physics is what we're talking about here. You know, how people describe God in the flesh is an error, and your literature, you will find that out when you dig back far enough before these depictions of what sick women or sick men with perverse ideas would depict, like depicting who you would call Mother Goddess in a bisexual relationship. No, her whole persona is to give life. You don't give life by having the same sex, you know. And the same goes with who they would call like God, or if it were like Apollo and Venus. What an insult to the Godhead to mix genders with what we can describe in the flesh. Do you see? So that's my thoughts today. And yeah, I have a very scientific mind. Absolutely. I may not describe it like somebody else does, but then somebody else isn't going to be able to articulate what some kind of bug with a combination um, plague type application at mankind would do to you, and figure out the gestation periods like I did. We each have our own gifts in that type of thing. So, but yeah, it's been pushed for thousands of years to make people feel like, say if it was a guy that cheated on his wife with another man. Okay, fine, but don't go out and make a statue of Venus with a penis on it to make yourself feel better. Motherhood is threatened in that. That's a fact. It has nothing to do with what anybody wants to do in private. It's what these people are doing with their propaganda and their agendas towards the linear family. It has nothing to do with religion or anything. It is dark against light. The um, low vibrating, don't take offense here, male entity that wants to control the female on this planet. I told you it's like baby went awry. There's mom and dad, and then baby thought he was the sum of the whole. You know, like I have to be both genders and then I'm going to be godlike. You know, it doesn't work like that. Or that we're all comprised of everything that is in the world within ourselves. You know, and that still is not going to describe the creator. You know, if you want to describe what people call the great mother, then describe her as a mother and stop being a mother about it. You know, ladies, anybody else, do you enjoy, or maybe you do, maybe you like the depiction of Venus de Milo with a penis or whatever. I don't know. You know, but I'm telling you, it was created by perverse thoughts in people that didn't have an understanding of what biology really is, and they were justifying their own actions. And justify away. I don't care. The end's going to come, and everybody's going to come into their own, whatever their intentions were towards people. That's the justice that you will seek for yourself, like they say, like spiritual tattoos on your soul. What if you have ill intent, that will reflect on your soul in the end, you know? Excuse me a minute, I'm gonna turn my fan on. It's like freaking hot here. Just a minute. Oh, I hope that's just not too noisy for us, but oh, I had to get some air here. Oh, it's warm. But I hope that made sense to people, you know? Like I said, I don't care what your gender preference is. I would still want you to be my friend, and I would love you with all my heart, no matter what. As long and they, people are thinking, well, like if you label yourself a Christian or something, like you have to go hating on somebody because of what they're doing. Now, if it's involving your children, and I have had my children annihilated, that's a whole different story. And then I would be talking to the pedo demographic. I'm not addressing normal people, what they do. Child predation is something that will, I'll get lethal about it. And it doesn't have anything to do with gender choice. It has to do with taking that choice away from a child, you know? So, anyway. Tonight will be number 7 on my ancient Greek, which um, will be interesting, you know. Did you know that it looks like a letter F, but it sounds like a W, and the letter F is also like in correlation with the number 6. Just kind of weird. F for father. What? Oh, excuse me. What? Who would make a statue of a woman with a penis or a man with breasts? Do you enjoy all that? I mean, yeah, if the dude needs a bra, by all means put one on, you know. But other than that, if you feel like you need that type of thing, you know, I'm saying you probably don't. So, yeah, and it matters because for thousands of years, people have use their perverse ways to describe what God is. And um, if that was you and you're described as a male, but somebody paints you as both, or if you're described as a woman and they paint you as both, and then somebody else sees it and they have the same type of thoughts and they're thinking, oh, that looks cool, you know, because we have a certain collective that uh, thinks they're a sum of the part, some of the whole, you know. It's really not like that, you know. I'm really going to get this uploaded. I hope you go to the 143 mark and listen to the physics and the error. This will describe perfectly the error of humankind trying to describe what God is in the flesh, you know. So, yeah, I've said enough today. I really am in somewhat of a off mood. I can hardly even take any more of this like that. Um, and like I said, it has nothing to do with what you do personally. It's what is happening to the children and what has happened to them for generations that people are having a hard time snapping out of it. You know, have your thoughts do what you do, but to depict God as what you are or what I am is not probably going to be the right, um, or it may be, but like if somebody's making a statue of the Great Mother, put a little tunic on her, okay? She knows she has boobies. Put some clothes on her. Yeah, that would be nice, you know, because no, people didn't run around exercising naked because why? Because they didn't have any clothes. Maybe they were in battle, you know. Think about things. before we just spit them out. What was depicted by one person and what was written in antiquity doesn't make another human being's thoughts fact, you know? So, all right, I'm gonna let it go here because yeah, I'll get heated on this shit because I do know better, and I just do, and I think you will too if you get the gist of what I'm saying. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day wherever you're at, and I will, and I love.